everybody, and welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tsoulianos, brought to you by his books, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Tells you everything you need to know. Good overview of PEDs, how they're used, doses, cycles, all that good stuff, side effects. Last year, he wrote the follow-up to that, Training, Nutrition, Supplementation in Bodybuilding. Gives you all that info. Both of those are available on Amazon.com as well as on gtool.com. Plenty of great articles there for free. gtoul.com. And of course, if you're on Amazon, pick up my book, Real Bodybuilding. Why not? It's great. Dr. George, all the way from Athens, Greece, where it snowed. Wow.
We have a snowfall, and as we speak now, it's snowing and it's 32 degrees.
Wow.
And inside my room now here, it's about 80.
80? Oh, that's too hot. You're not even sweating.
No, but I have the kitties and the mother.
Okay. Yeah,
over here. They have to be warm, you know.
Not 80 though. 80 is like tropical. You don't need it that hot.
Well, it's 27 Celsius. It's really hot, you know. But
so you've been posting a lot of great workout videos because your gyms in Greece have been shut down, off and on, mostly shut down. So you've got a great.
It's more than 3 months. You know, it's 12 weeks, 13 weeks.
So you have a great setup in your backyard.
But it's outdoors. It's outdoors, and now it's snow.
So you didn't. Yeah, you didn't cover it with anything like a tarp.
No, okay, it's gonna get rusted. I'll buy a new one and don't matter. Besides, after the quarantine, I'm gonna sell out the whole thing. You know.
Okay.
I miss the gym. I miss the apparatus. I miss this atmosphere. You know, it's good to be a loner over here, but you know you freak out. And then besides, free weights are really good, but they're a pain in the ass.
Oh, I mean, free weights are great, but there's some things like for legs, I want certain machines. For back, I want certain machines.
The rear legs, yes. The pec deck, the fly machine, the crossovers. You know, there are some really good machines.
So, are you training outside in the cold?
Yeah, I mean, the coldest was about 35. I trained, but when it's over 45, 50, it's pretty good for me. Yeah. So,
like today, you're gonna brush the snow off and use the equipment outside?
Well, it will melt. You know, 2 days after, the temperature will rise again. And besides, because I cannot tolerate so much heat, I like the color, atmosphere. So, yeah.
I should move to Boston.
You have too much muscle, you cannot stand the heat, you know.
Dude, when you said 80 degrees, I started cringing because if it's over like 75, I start sweating always. That's hot. That's very hot for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to Vegas or California, then it reaches 90.
Why do you think I don't? That's why I don't like to go to Las Vegas. It's too hot. I feel like I'm gonna melt like a popsicle.
I remember when I was for the Olympia, I went on foot to go and train in the gym about a couple of blocks later, a quarter of an hour walking. You know, the heat was coming like, the wind of heat, like it was in Sahara Desert.
Well, it is. It's in a desert. Las Vegas is in the middle of a desert. Yeah. They decided to put a city in the middle of a desert. Yeah, Vegas, I don't recommend any of you guys, if you ever go there during the summer, don't think you can walk anywhere because everything.
It was mid of September, actually.
Yeah, that's hot. It'll be in the 90s. It'll still be over 90 degrees.
Easy.
Yeah. When Derek Lunsford won the USA, it was in Las Vegas in July, and it was about 120 degrees during the day, and even at 11 o'clock at night, it was still like 95, 98 degrees. Ridiculous.
It snowed now. A couple of weeks ago, it snowed.
Climate change. I think the climate is changing. I think maybe we're going to go to an ice age again. I don't know. Well, Doc, we got some great questions.
Yeah.
We're servicing the viewers who have great questions for you. They like the interviews too, but they really have burning questions that nobody else is going to answer for them or can answer correctly. They just go on Google and hope for the best. But thank God we have Dr. George Tsoulianos. Question number 1. Oh, this is a good one. He's concerned about his dad. My father recently found out that his triglyceride levels are quite high, almost 300. What can he possibly do to lower it without medication? Or is it necessary to use certain drugs to come back to normalcy?
Well, fish oil is really good for that. And actually, fish oil that are medically prescribed by doctors, physicians, that come out of the pharmacy store as a product of the FDA, of each country, they are prescribed in high triglycerides. So the best fish oil you can get is krill oil. Has double the price. It has carotenoids, namely astaxanthin, that prevents the oxidation of lipoprotein fragments. And it has also, of course, DHEA, EPA. But also there's a drug called fibrate which is really good to lower triglycerides and LDL. You can buy it in pharmacy. No side effects. I've tried it. So fibrates and krill oil are the best. Now, if you want to try a healthy diet, that would be Mediterranean. So plenty in almonds that contain alpha-linoleic acid, olive oil that contains oleic acid. Okay, and also you can get, of course, flaxseed oil, sesame oil, macadamia oil, cashews, almonds, all these seeds. Okay, no fried food, no trans fat, and avoid the saturated fat and prefer poly and monounsaturated fatty acids. Okay, so a clean diet and plenty also of fresh fruits and vegetables. But listen, if you want to test your triglycerides, you have to remain fasted for 12 hours. So half of the day, hydrate well, and make sure the day before you didn't eat something which was garbage, So it's really important, 12 hours of fasting.
Okay. I'm just curious why he's worried about a medication. Do the medications used to lower triglycerides have harmful side effects?
No, because he's prejudiced maybe for the medications like statins, but fibrates have nothing to do with statins. Okay, they're a different class of drugs, and they're really good. But of course, you have to bomb yourself with fish oil. I'm taking 1 gram of fish oil every time I eat, so 5 grams a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
You have to eat. Yeah, a lot. Yes.
Wow.
Or of course, eat sardines, mackerel, salmon.
Yeah.
Okay, fatty fish.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Next one is about aromatase inhibitor. Will 1 milligram of anastrazole per week hurt my HDL and LDL in the short and long term, or have any other possible side effects?
No, I don't think so, but this is what I use also. Okay, so 1 milligram per week. You can split it both, half a milligram twice a week, but does not have any major impact on HDL. Of course, if you don't use steroids, if you don't smoke, if you do your cardio, if you eat clean. So I keep my the HDL over 40, even if I take 1 milligram of Arimidex and once a week. Okay.
Yeah. So why do you take it, doctor? Do you have problems with your estrogen coming up?
If I don't, my sodiol goes 3-digital, and then I have I'm symptomatic. Okay, unlike you, so I have sore nipples, and then you get so much uncomfortable with your perhaps edema. You have this kind of bad mood. You become easily irritated. You have fluctuations in mood swings. Your temper is, the estrogens have to be set up in a sweet spot, but in an optimal range. Okay, not too high, not too low. Of course, accordingly to the testosterone levels. All right, if you have super high testosterone, doesn't matter if you have elevated estrogens.
Oh, okay.
But it's the ratio also, okay? But once a week, certainly, besides the Arimidex, is the least potent aromatase inhibitors from all of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, my estrogen, my estradiol is very, very high, as we know. But I know that it's no problem because Netflix has a show called Bridgerton, a series. All the women in the world love this stupid show, Bridgerton. It takes place in England in the 1820s or something. It's, royalty and sex and all this crap. And my wife started watching it. I started watching it. I said, this show is horrible. I couldn't even watch it. Terrible. It's for girls. No man, I don't think any man likes that show, Bridgerton. Don't even bother. All right, next one is, hey, Doc, in episode 3, you mentioned about your friend who is a bodyguard and takes only 250 milligrams test enanthate a week for 20 years. Can you give us some updates about him and his health markers? What other things does he take? I guess he wants to know. Proviron, HCG. Do you know a lot of people or clients who are using test only for decades without side effects?
So this guy has been using more than 2 decades. Now he's mid-50s. He has been using this, I'm sure, in his 30s. So he's been using 1 milligram of testosterone, the old-fashioned German testosterone, which was the best in the world.
Yeah.
But after a couple of, when he reached his 50s, he had an incident of deep venous thrombosis. So he had to stop taking testosterone. Wow. He had to perform some anti-clotting medications. And by that time, of course, because he was his testosterone was crashed and he didn't produce anymore. He was taking HGH for this year. Okay, and then he came back, of course, in testosterone. Now, I remember I had the labs with him. So his HDL was about 50, but his total cholesterol was 250, and his LDL was 150. So everything was elevated. He walked a lot, this guy. He was eating clean, of course. No other major abuse of drugs in his when he was a middle-aged man, you know. Yeah. Now, besides him, I know also other bodybuilders that use 1 ml of testosterone, you know. And apart from aromatization and erythrocytosis, there's no other major concern. Of course, we have the prostatic enlargement, but this is another story from the cancer, okay? Prostate can be irritated by DHT, of course, but an elevated PSA can be the result of ejaculation or sex, or even riding the bicycle, you know, or prostatitis. But according to Morgenthaler, there's no correlation between testosterone cancer and high testosterone use. I'm sorry, because there are guys with low testosterone that develop testosterone prostate cancer. I'm sorry. Right. All right. So hair thing also is another thing, and acne perhaps. So this is the main concern. So estrogens, DHT that elevates the prostate, estrogens that perhaps lead to gyno occasionally. Yeah. And of course, DHT that kicks the that is related to the EPO and the hemoglobin hematocrit. Yeah. You know, but certainly testosterone is not toxic, okay? Right. I'm sorry, I have another patient that's been using 1 gram of testosterone for the sake of sex. He wants to get laid with his wife twice a day. His wife.
A gram of, so he's doing 1,000 milligrams of testosterone?
Yeah, it's crazy because he came, he was bloated, okay? He said, if I go to 0.5 gram, I cannot perform in bed. So good. I tried to lower him back to 250, and now he called me and he said, Doc, I can't stand this. And I went up to the gram, told him, stop, you're not my patient anymore if you don't listen to me, okay? I take the responsibility of your decisions, you know? Yeah. It's crazy, you know, it's crazy because there are even some guys that abuse testosterone and they don't have such a good libido because of other parameters like SHBG, like estradiol, like prolactin, or like vascular issues in the penis.
Yeah, I mean,
so more is not better always.
Well, what is his issue that he can't get good erections, or he doesn't have desire?
Oh, maybe he wants to act like a porn star 2-3 times a day. He's 50 years old, you know, we have to be reasonable.
What is his wife, like 18 years old?
No, I don't know.
I mean, come on.
It's purely psychological and insecurities inside of him, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know any 50-year-old wife that's been married that long going to give up the ass 3 times a day. Come on now. I don't know who this woman is, but she deserves a medal. Next one. Training questions. This is a good one. Which cycle would give delts and traps gains rapidly on its own if tren is not an option? Just want to stay away from 19 hours. So this guy believes that tren gives you bigger shoulders and traps.
From this question, I realize that this is another fuck. He doesn't know a thing about training and perhaps diet, okay? Yeah. So listen to me. Tren is not going to give you super traps. Training and rest and nutrition and, of course, gear, but not certainly tren.
Yeah. Well, where does this idea come from that a certain drug gives you...
Oh, man, come on, give me a break.
Well, like winstrol is going to make your calves bigger and deca is going to make your biceps bigger. This is nuts. But yeah, tren, you know, I did that video yesterday.
I'm sure tren was not available back in the Arnold's era, you know?
No, but these kids, the young people now, they think tren is magic. I don't know why they think it's magical. It's better than, it's 1,000 times better than any other steroid. They all want tren. Anyway, but yeah, that's a good answer. I don't think it deserves any more than that because yeah, training, nutrition, and any kind of gear. Rest, yeah. Growth hormone question. Is 1.5 IU HGH 5 on, 2 off a good dose and protocol for anti-aging along with 140 milligrams of test and 60 milligrams deca a week?
So as I said before, GH has to be straight, non-stop, not on and off, okay, if you can afford it. better use a lower dose in order to keep it non-stop. Now, about the question before, we have to know that traps react in many reps and heavy loads, like the calves and like the forearms. Okay, so he has to perform over 15 reps with super heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to just add to that. People question
it's a small muscle group. Okay.
It's not just because of that. It's because shrugs. It's a short range of motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
also, yeah.
8 reps, 6, 8, even 10 reps. You're not going to really get into the muscle fiber.
And also, when you do rear delts, the traps also engage. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when you do shoulder presses, the traps are engaged. The traps are part of like
the back, you know, the rows. Okay.
That's why people have a trouble figuring out, should I do traps on back day or shoulder day, because they're part of both muscle groups, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're back
to mine to do Sunday, you know, nonstop.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the growth. You should just stay on it every day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, even for rejuvenation, you know, because if you stop it, then the levels drop.
Right. Is that enough? 1.5 IUs?
Well, if it's 365, it's good for recovery and rejuvenation. Yeah.
Because I don't know anybody that only use the lowest I hear anybody using is two IUs a day.
Yeah.
Of course, look at the people I know, right? All right. Next. Hello, doc. After running 50 milligrams winstrol and 40 milligrams Anavar for 10 days, my HDL decreased to 24, while LDL remained perfect. My liver enzymes went up, LHD 260, and my transaminase to 115. What's the best way to recover as fast as possible and get the parameters I just mentioned back in check?
Now, HDL lowers 50% within the first week, you know. So I don't know, this guy, where he started from, it sounds like he started from 50. Oh, but if you combine two 17-alkylated like oxandrolone and stanozolol, it's a bad combo for your lipids, okay? And also stanozolol is more toxic than oxandrolone. But this is what they do. They lower HDL, they elevate LDL, they elevate also liver enzymes, but not cholestatic enzymes. And this is how atherosclerosis is established, you know. Now, in order to reverse this lipidemia, you have to follow a clean diet, plenty in good fats, use some agents that we have described before, like niacin for the HDL, krill oil, cardio, quit smoking, and also red rice yeast, polycosanol, bergamot oil, fish oil, of course, resveratrol, astaxanthin, phytosterols for the LDL, or even statins, you know. But if you take statins, you have to train moderately and stop gear.
Oh, well, I take a very low dose of statins, so I can keep doing what I'm doing. But man, it's just to note, these people that they just do pills, just oral cycles, because they're afraid of needles or they don't want to use needles. Man, they would be so much better off just doing. This guy would. His liver enzymes would have been fine if he was just doing a little test in DECA.
Yeah, and also they disrupt the intestinal flora and they get bloated.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I know popping a pill is easier than sticking a needle, but trust me, guys, you'll get over it. It's not that, after you've done it a few times, it's not that difficult, the injections.
You may see the system more, you know.
Yeah. You might have a girlfriend or a wife that can be your nurse and stick you every day. Yeah. Or every, a couple times a week, whatever. If you're lucky. Some of you guys are actually with nurses, so even better. All right, last question. What is Dr. T's opinion on adding 5 milligrams of RAD 140, is that a SARM, to HRT?
Yeah.
I'm currently on 175 milligrams of testosterone a week and 1 IU of Nutropin HGH a day. Okay, this guy's only on 1. Also, I take DHEA and Pregnenolone. I have access to real RAD 140 from a university lab, but don't have access to Proviron or other ancillaries. RAD 140.
I would suggest to stay away from some. Okay, if it's legitimate, then use it. But I would expect elevation in liver enzymes and in disruption in lipids. But instead, I would add some deca, some nandrolone for the joints also. And deca is a pretty good anabolic, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not harmful, and you can add 50 milligrams of deca per week as an anti-aging protocol.
Just as a note, do you think pharmaceutical companies in the next few years are going to come out with their own patented versions of SARMs that are going to be much better?
I don't know. Rick Collins said it's experimental thing, you know. They have to justify it. for health purposes, of course.
Right, right. I'm
For
just curious.
Ahexia, trauma, burns, you know.
I mean, I think, is it crazy that within the next few years they could approve drugs for physique enhancement, by prescription only for adults?
No, I don't think it's going to be validated in this
No.
way. It sounds to me like the SARMs are the drugs for the athlete. I mean, they are made for athletes and not for
Regular people. Okay.
for regular people and for patients, of course, like the steroids were made in first place.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like the Patrick Arnold drug, the DHEA he made for the Olympics, you know. So it's kind of a dark thing, you know.
Underground, like
Yeah,
black market drug. Huh.
but,
Okay.
but not for a good reason, you know, not for to reverse aging, you know, and to reverse cachexia and muscle wasting or anemia or osteoporosis. It's just to perform better, and this is not acceptable by scientists, you know.
Yeah.
Perhaps by Dr. Hulk, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I saw one science fiction movie. I think Netflix. It was a Netflix movie, and in the future, all the athletes were on tons and tons of drugs, and it was okay. The sporting organizations, the government, everybody was okay with it. So they had all these super crazy enhanced athletes competing in.
Everybody was taking the same thing in the same dose.
Yeah. They were all jacked up. They were all like superhuman. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't that good, but anyway, it was an interesting concept. Well, Doctor, that's all the questions for this week. We got an easy one. You know what? I think the shorter shows are good.
People laid off, you know, and back off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like I said, I think these shorter shows do well because when I see like an hour on a video, I'm like, nope. If I see 2 hours on a video,
taking
I'm
a big breath, and we had 24 questions a month.
Yeah. So guys, keep the questions coming, but if we get 24 questions, we're just going to pick the best ones. That's how every good show would do it.
It was a nice break from the Q&A with these interviews. I enjoyed. It was glamorous. Okay.
You'll be getting more interviews, Doctor. You'll be getting more. Don't worry. It's coming. I know it. Yeah. Sometimes
I don't like to beg, you know.
Oh yeah, and you only go for big names too. You don't go for obscure people.
Well, so people are spoiled. They want big names.
Well, yeah, and big names. Those people are very busy people, so they're harder to pin down and get them to commit to a time and all that. But we'll be back, guys, with guests. I'm sure Dr. T is gonna get a great guest soon. But if not, we still have these questions, and that's why most people tune into this. So if you guys have questions for the doctor about performance enhancing drugs, health issues related to those, please leave them in the comments below. We will get to those at the next show. Of course.
Well, the mask is mandatory now. Outdoors. Oh,
come on.
No, I thought Biden had it outdoors, mandatory.
For the whole country?
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I haven't heard. Maybe I better check the news. But that's so ridiculous. Like, I'm going to go walk my dog now. I'm going to walk to the park.
In Europe, it's like every country of Europe is like this.
Outside. I can see it.
Outdoors.
What if you're in like the countryside? There's no people around. Come on, Obviously, you don't need a mask. Oh, man.
Now they're negotiating about 2 masks.
2 masks?
For the mutations, for the variants of the virus.
That's like wearing 2 condoms, I guess, right? No fun. All right. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time, sharing your knowledge and your expertise with all the viewers. Guys, we appreciate you viewing this show. If you like these videos, please share them. Please like, please subscribe, hit the little bell thing so you know when new videos from this channel, Muscular Development, are coming. We appreciate your viewership very much. And Dr. Touliatos, thank you so much for doing this for all these viewers.
On March issue, I'm having the secrets of muscle growth.
That's right. That is is that the issue with Big Ramy on the cover?
Yeah, March.
Okay, I should have brought that upstairs. I have that downstairs. Big Ramy on the cover, guys, new MD. So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone with Dr. George Touliatos. We'll see you next time.